Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Zellsis has given his thoughts on the Paper X team for the upcoming season, talking about what changes they may well look to make to try and take the next level with their team. PRX have in some ways underperformed over the last couple of seasons with the potential that they've had. They've just not quite been able to get over the line. It was Edward Gaming, of course, this year that took the triumph. It was Evil Geniuses last year in 2023 that won that year's World Championship. Paper X both times got relatively close, but in the end, no cigar. Is Zellsis on the money with what they may well change here? Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below, because big out the drama of the day as well. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Firstly, let's talk about the Game Changers World Championship currently going on there in Berlin. Shopify Rebellion played Team Falcons. Team Falcons, pretty damn good. Their roster in Game Changers, but no match for SR. So it's like, why even run the tournament? Do you know who's going to win? Okay, it's not guaranteed, but and fair play to Alexis turning up big time in this series. She did very well. But yeah, it was just another series where SR just have so much of an advantage. It's borderline comical. Like, because Team Vegas, Team Falcons Vega were expected to potentially do some damage here. This is meant to be a relatively interesting series maybe, but it wasn't even close. The Haven was 13-4 on their pick, and then the Ascent was 13-7. Again, no real moments. Floor was 27-14 here, and Lexa ended 3-17 on a bit of a rough one. But yeah, Eva tried her best on the game too, wasn't to be. So yeah, early days in the tournament, but the early evidence is, as we might expect, that SR are going to be especially hard to stop again this year. Now, the bracket is, it's not a guarantee. Of course, there's the G2 Gozen team on the other side. They've always been relatively strong, but, you would say SR are probably going to be the favourites if they do match up. They're going to play the GC roster of MIBR as well, and this is also a pretty interesting team, right? So there are some strong teams still in the tournament here, but SR are going to play Zipto Esports next up. That's going to get them, presumably they win that to the upper finals, or that this could be an interesting series because Zipto took down FlyQuest Red, who have been reasonably competitive before. So it's exciting. It's the World Championship at the end of the day. But SR are absolutely the favourites to go on and, take this series, take the upper finals, and then the grand finals, of course, on the 17th of November. This is the way the bracket play is looking so far. And this, just looking at it, I guess, from another perspective, if you guys are interested in this alternate graphic that the VCT put out for the way that the bracket play is looking. But yeah, this continues over the coming days. It's a couple of days away until SR are going to play again. Whether they can go one step further, we'll see. Yesterday, however, major confirmations coming out of Carmine Corps. And this was incredible. Like, you gotta say, yes, they might be going through some sort of financial related drama there at KC over there in France, but what they put on in terms of events and tournaments and fan displays and everything like that is absolutely insane. And this is just one example here for the ages. Saadhak was officially confirmed at a mega event that KC did yesterday when he walks out in front of basically a 30,000 strong crowd and is introduced as the new in-game leader and captain of the KC roster. So we've known this news was coming for a while. It was a big debate as to whether he would go there, whether he would stay, which other organisation might potentially be interested to bring him into the lineup, but eventually KC were the ones that pulled the trigger. It is an interesting decision from both parties. I mean, Saadhak leaving the Americas, leaving, the Brazilian, the kind of obviously he's Argentina, right, but playing for Brazilian organisation Laudo for the last couple of years, departing that organisation, basically bringing an end to any of that internal core that Loud had over the last few years, and coming to EMEA was, a surprise, especially leading up KC. They had a decent year last year, given the expectations going in. They had Narrates, they had Tomasi. They've made some serious changes again, and Saadhak's going to lead the way for them. I guess the question is for many, even Zellsis mentioned this a while ago, is Saadhak's leadership good enough to make this work? Yes, we know his tenure and arguably the greatest leader that the game has really seen in many respects in VALORANT with the success that he's had over a consistent time frame. But can he deliver that again after, of course, a very difficult season last year on the Loud roster? And also this year from Tomasi. So KC Tomasi is no longer a thing, unfortunately, for him anyway. He's departing the organisation. He was there last year, and, he was there to kind of like depart ways in some way. Best fans, best country, he says. But he is gone because the new roster is going to be Saadhak, Ave, Elite, Martin, and Sagetsu. So it's a strong roster for sure on paper. They've got some serious shooters on this team. Can Saadhak put it all together and make this team a world championship winning roster? I think it's a challenge, but of course it's a challenge that they're willing to go for and accept. So exciting prospects, I think, for this KC roster going forwards. Of course, they introduced the coaching staff as well. Eng is still over there. Zich, of course, is over there as well with what he did to, help out their roster over the last season or so. And great announcement video, as always, here from the Karmine Corps guys with the confirmation of their brand new roster for the upcoming season. Couple of quick things, though, to mention on what Zellsis had to say, because I'll share a clip as well from the SR side on Game Changers yesterday. But Zellsis and Zekken getting into it a little bit a couple of days ago now, me before entering sites, when you fumble your util. Just because Zellsis is, I wouldn't say he's been under pressure by any means, but there's just been a general theory going around that, let's say, hypothetically, the roster with Redux becomes a thing all of a sudden, and when Redux turns 18 they want to bring him in and he's killing it in challenges. The odd man out might end up being Zellsis, right? That's the risk that he's going to have to deal with. It's the same thing last year with Sassy, really. Like, if Sen were ever going to make a change, Sassy was probably going to be the man to go. Eventually he was the man to go, because he wanted to retire, but also probably because Zellsis, or Sentinel, sorry, wanted to see if they could potentially make an upgrade somewhere. And obviously TENS was never going to get removed, but he decided to go of his own volition. But Zellsis does also talk about Paper X, because that roster over there, we considered, could they have made a change, especially when Aspas was available? Could they have gone down that route? They've decided not to. They're going to stick with the way that things were. But Paper X have been one of the more fascinating teams in the world of Valorant, really, just because they're so good on paper. The talent is unquestionable, but the results just aren't necessarily there as they, might have expected to see. So that's why Zellsis gives his thoughts on the roster changes, not necessarily roster changes, but the role changes within the roster that they may well be looking to make. And, is Zellsis cooking, or is he, absolutely no idea what he's talking about?
He's been rinsing Sova and ranked. I mean, I could see Jing going full-time duelist, Forsaken Sentinel, Devi Flex, Mind Freak, Smokes, and then something, what's it called? Initiator. I could see that being a thing. Who will play Jet? Jing. I assume Jing would play Jet.
We're taking all of the qualifiers leading up, and how really
look at the stack towards A.
They are for this. Chrissy, I know having had your team get
They smoked us. They smoked us, Mimi. Look, they lost those two series in the first two qualifiers, and after that, just completely locked in, not taking any chances, no overheating, and yet Falcons have opened up with first kill here. The Outlaw entry from Fluorescent is simply absurd.
Oh my god! I unplugged my fucking wait! Whoa! Wait a second, replay. I just unplugged my fucking head. Wait, stop!
Yeah,
Go
what would
again.
You bet your money on? Floor
again.
Getting a lot of kills with the gun themselves.
Okay, wait. Why did we not get a replay on that?
The Neon ult headed into this, but
I still want a replay on the second round.
Yeah, I've got some bad news.
Yeah, what is
Floor
that?
also has her Neon ult and has started off 8-1.
That would do it.
These guys just did not rotate. Follow a strat challenge.
Oh!
Okay, Mel.
You there?
That's crazy.
Follow a stretch.
Well, you know what? Talk your game when it's working out. The Outlaw not been working out for Fluorescent.
A couple of other things to mention as well here before we close out the video. So, Sentinel's Redux, who is their bench player for the upcoming season, he has been spotted in a game with a couple of interesting players. So, Mitch, of course, former Cloud9 man, a man that they could even consider bringing back into the roster, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing that, at least as of yet. But yeah, Redux, Mitch and Crashies all spotted together. So Crashies, I know, was talking a while ago, could he potentially team up again with Victor? Will they run that duo back? But, Victor's had this unfortunate wrist injury that he's been suffering with, so whether that's going to happen, it's tough to say. But yeah, just interesting to note here that Redux, Mitch and Crashies together in a custom game. Presumably there could be something in that for the upcoming Challengers year, of course. Redux seems to have got a pretty good Challengers team, and also for a guy like Crashies, it's interesting, isn't it? Because as a player with such tenure and such success in parts of Valorant history, going down to Challengers and trying to make your way back up again is commendable, but equally, you know, he's not a player that's necessarily going to get poached, I guess, from challenges, because people tend to poach the likes of a Redux, right? Who's a young, promising, talented player that could be the next top star of the world. Crashies is not going to be the next top star in World Valorant. He may still be very much a winning player and a missing piece maybe for a roster that needs to win, but he's not going to be a target that people will, you know, really search for, because that's not how people tend to use the tier 2 system. So Crashies' way back may be to have the best roster and win Ascension. That may be the plan, and you know, we'll see if that works. And just this as well, I thought was kind of funny. Turns out Aspas has been playing ranked in, of course, Brazil on various accounts, and well, he's trying not to expose himself that it's actually him, not using his mic at all or anything, but people have found him out basically, and therefore he decided to go live on Twitch, but instead of using a webcam, he just had this you know, caption here, trying to disguise himself in ranks. It's kind of interesting because the same thing happened to Ye. You guys remember in the Pacific when we weren't sure where Ye was going, but it turned out that Ye was, well, there was an account that we thought was Ye, and the way that he played the game, it just felt like Ye. And it's funny when a player is that good that you can get a feel for who they are without knowing who they are, right? Because you'd think that, oh, well, you know, you just disguise yourself as a ranked kid and you'll be fine. But, you know, does any old ranked kid dive into the site, throw a smoke and pop a 5-piece for the rounds? The type of stuff that Aspas is doing? Probably not. So, and the way that Ye was spotted last year was because his crosshair placement and his peeking and everything was very much Ye style. And I think for Aspas, maybe the movement or some other factors could be a bit of a giveaway. So, you know, I think he's been so good and recognizable down there in the world of ranked in Brazil, at least in Brazilian servers in general, that he can't even pretend to be anyone else because they're just going to find him out. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Thinking of parallels, I guess, this is kind of funny. So yesterday, Zellsis posted this clip, and it was a nice little clip. I mean, he hit some nice headshots. 1 versus 4, gets the first kill using the raised satchel. Pretty funny. Gets the second kill as well, while blind, pretty much. And then throws the nade. The nade doesn't kill the bomb diffuser, which Zellsis thought it would, so he actually loses the round, although he does go on to get the final couple of kills of the round anyway. The interesting thing about this was, as was pointed out here in the replies, that as Safe says, no way you lost the round again. Here's a clip from the Cloud9 days a while ago on Split in a similar type of position, 1 versus 4, gets the spike down here, but actually he doesn't. So he gets 1, 2, 3, pulls at the show someone to try and win the rounds, but then he realizes he actually didn't get the spike down in time, so he actually lost the round. So pretty funny parallels there across time, but very much interested in your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.